talking about digital citizenship. If you've been in the technology world or specifically the educational technology world, you've probably heard this term. If you haven't heard this term, we're going to introduce it to you this week, and you probably are going to start hearing it more and more. You know, the technology world, we've been interacting with technology with others. We've been online for a couple of decades now, and we're just now starting to realize that this is kind of like a modern day wild, wild west. Here we have this global community, and there's not a whole lot of clear guidelines. There's not a lot of clear cultural norms or social expectations, and in some cases, there's not a lot of clear legal laws and implications and standards out there as well. And so we now are at the point where we're starting to realize that we can't just let students exist in this global community, that we have to start teaching them how to be citizens of this global community and how to be appropriate digital citizens when using technology. So much like we spend a lot of time with our kids teaching them how to be regular citizens in a face-to-face world, we have to be very intentional about teaching them how to be effective digital citizens as well. You're going to be looking at some material. Hopefully you've already read the book or completed the book or near completing the book, Digital Citizenship in Schools by Gerald Bailey and Mark Ribble, and been introduced to the 9 elements. And so I'm not going to go over those now, but this needs to be something that becomes important to you. We're starting to see and continue to see more and more news accounts of students and adults that are making really poor choices when it comes to technology use, and we're just going to see it more and more and more, especially if we don't intentionally educate not only our students but their families and our entire community on what's appropriate and what's not, what's dangerous and what's not, what's legal and what's not, what's acceptable, what's not, and we're going to have to model for them, and we're going to have to be very intentional about our program development when it comes to educating these people. Some of the things that make it really difficult is that this is not limited to just one culture. The internet and all of these digital interactions span multiple cultures and countries. They're global, and so that makes it really difficult, especially when we're talking about cultural norms. What is normal and acceptable in one culture may or may not be in another, yet these people are interacting online. What's legal or illegal in one country is going to differ, yet these people are interacting online. And so we're a long way off, I think, from having really clear, set, established norms, rules, laws, regulations, but that can't stop us from beginning that process of education now. I'm very passionate about this area, and I hope that as you get some more information this week and through the reading of this book, that this will become an area of passion for you. And hopefully, as you make these digital citizenship plans, you'll be able to actually go back to your school and help implement this. Because if it's not something that's intentional right now in your school, it should be, because our students are out there and they are participating in this world, in this environment. And if we don't provide them with some guidance, then who's going to? A lot of cases, their parents aren't going to, not because they don't want to, but because they don't know how. And so it's our job to come alongside these families and parents and really help them to become great digital citizens.